Hello, Mahadia. We are so honored and delighted to meet you and to learn a little bit more about your work. So, can you tell us your full name and your location where you are right now? Where do you live and where do you work?
Hi. First of all, before introducing myself, I'd like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here and talk and share my work and story. My name is Mahadia Dalal. I am a Palestinian Filipina. I am an educator, artist, peace activist, and a mother. I was born in the Philippines. Then, when I was 3 years old, I moved to Gaza, where I lived there my entire life. I completed my education there and also worked in refugee camps for more than 11 years. Um, but when the genocide took place in 2023, October 2023, um, my house was bombed and my entire neighborhood was destroyed. My school was destroyed also. I lost a lot of my loved ones, a lot of my students, my colleagues, my friends, and we experienced starvation for quite a while. At that time, when the Filipino government decided to repatriate us to the Philippines back again, and since then, I've been living here in the Philippines, where I work as a peace activist, also as an educator. Although I am far away from my other homeland, Gaza, I am actually still involved with the Gazan community through education, remote education. And I'm glad to say that here in the Philippines, I can provide space for peace building, healing, and storytelling.
Beautiful. Thank you. And can you tell us a little bit more about your work and what difference it makes? And can you share a story about your work and that difference?
So first of all, I worked in Gaza, as I said before. I worked in Gaza, teaching English as a second language in the schools and colleges of the refugee camps across the Gaza Strip for more than 11 years. And, classes there were simple, and we had to squeeze lessons in between airstrikes and uh, just try to deliver, the knowledge to the generation. I was newly appointed at that time. I was working in the north, near El Shijaiya camp, and there was this little boy. His name was Muhammad, and I remember he was sitting in the classroom all the time, being passive, not participating in the English classroom, in the English class. And I viewed his records before, his achievements before, and I saw that he was an excellent student, but in the English class, he was really passive. And then when I sat with him, I learned that he lost all his family and he was the sole survivor with his mother after a Shijaiya massacre that took place in 2014.
Mm,
And he was so passive in the English class because he thought that it was the language of the enemy.
mm,
Imagine. So I
wow.
was like, I sat with him and I told him, English, the language is not your enemy. And sometimes when you learn English, you may understand the other,
Mm,
And it's like when you play with, with other boys, and in the playground, and then a misunderstanding happens and you fight over nothing because you don't understand each other. But then when you get to know each other, um, you become friends, right? And he said yes. And I really gained his trust. to be more active in my class. And it's not just one session. It took a lot of sessions from me just to, make him adapt to the class, to even learning in general, because, when kids are in trauma, it's hard for them to learn. And his mother, God bless her soul, she also helped. And years passed by. He aced actually English class at
Mm.
that year. And years passed by, and I was moved to the central part of Gaza, where I worked in the Nusayrat refugee camp. And I was leading a project called Bridges, where we prepare students to pass the TOEFL and IELTS exam to be accepted in universities in the US and Europe. So this young man was chasing after me, and he was saying, "Miss Mahdia," and I turned and I was like, I said, "Yes." I didn't recognize him, to be honest with you. And he said, "You remember me? I'm Muhammad." He said, "Muhammad from Shujaiya." And I said, "Oh, Muhammad, what are you doing here?" He said, "I've been working hard to learn, hard for my mother to be proud of me. And I've been thinking hard about being excellent in my education, especially in English. And now I'm planning to, go study abroad, study medicine, and I hope that I pass." But now we are friends on Facebook, and I am tracking uh, his stories on Facebook, and he's actually studying medicine in the US. And this is one of the stories that I really feel happy to share.
Yes.
In 2017, I was accepted in the Fulbright Scholarship in the United States. And it was called the FLTA, Foreign Language Teaching Assistant. And I worked in Colorado College at that time. I was teaching Arabic and Islamic culture to young adults in Colorado College. And most of my students were Jewish. One of them, he was really excited about the birthright trip. I don't know if you know about the birthright trip. Is when they bring young people from the US and Europe, and then they move them to Israel, and then they kick people out of their homes in Palestine, and replace them with the newcomers. And he tried many times to tease me about it. He was one of my students, but I didn't, give him what he wanted. But he tried really hard to, get a reaction from me. So I also was involved with the interfaith sessions in campus. And we gathered there, all of us, the Muslims, the Jews, and the Christians. And my student was there, also with my Jewish colleagues. And I learned that in Shabbat, they cannot cook. So they were trying to find someone to cook for them for the Shabbat. And I said, I can cook, halal is like kosher, so why can't I cook for you? They said, "Well, okay." They were, at first, they were, redundant about it. So I cooked for them. And since I know Hebrew also, we grew a very good friendship, actually, throughout the days and weeks. And my student he became curious about me. So I also invited them to my place on campus. So on campus, we had these, like studio flats where the professors stay in. And one of the students said, "Oh, teacher, you have a really nice place here." And I said, "Yeah, imagine if I was kicked out of here, and somebody came and just kicked me out and stayed here and used my stuff." They said, "Oh, this is nonsense. This won't happen." I said, "But it does happen. It happens all the time. And I guess at that moment, he understood what I'm trying to say. And we talked a lot, and he searched a lot. And he was really curious also, and he started looking up what is Palestine, what is Israel, what is this conflict. And he told me that he throughout this this period that I was talking with him, he said that he got enlightened, and I was really shocked to hear that. He said there are a lot of things that I didn't know. And for me, to hear to hear that I was able to affect,
Yes.
someone in a way that is towards understanding other people, not just thinking about yourself. And when
Yes.
a week passed by, and I learned that he didn't join the birthright trip. He
That's
actually now he's one of the people who is advocating to end the genocide in Gaza, and I'm very proud of him and very proud
yes,
of the development that he's gone through.
that's wonderful.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
after the genocide took place, and we were repatriated to the Philippines. There were a lot of children and young adults with us who came from Gaza, and they didn't complete their education. So like 2 months passed by, and we have children, like 17 children and young adults who didn't join any college here in the Philippines or any school. And all of us, all the families who were repatriated, we were staying in one compound. And I told the people who were in charge of this compound, why can't we teach them, English, so that they will be able to join schools and universities? And at first, they didn't think that it was feasible, But we collaborated with UP, University of the Philippines, and one of the first professors helped us there to set up a classroom for intensive English courses. And I worked really hard at that time throughout the months to let them have the opportunity to apply for schools and apply to colleges, so that they won't miss that. They won't surrender to the despair that we were feeling at that time. And I'm very happy that all of them now are in college and in schools.
Congratulations.
As,
Congratulations. So
yes.
we're coming.
Actually, aside from that, also, aside from working as an educator in the Philippines, I also collaborated with universities here to advocate for peace. One of them is De La Salle, which is one of the prominent universities in the Philippines. I shared my story and advocated for peace during the World Refugee Day on the 20th of June, and also collaborated with Miriam University, where I displayed my artwork there about peace, and also shared my story. Also, one of my biggest, I think that they're the most important event that I attended and I participated with was the PCU Award, Third World March for Peace. And this was coordinated for us by Professor Genevieve Kupan, who helped us join the event, me and my husband and my kids, and share our story and share our perspective of peace. Also with in Pangasinan with WCC Aeronautical and Technological University, where We participated in the UN SDG 16 and SDG 17 about universities as pillars of peace, justice, and strong institutions. And these were some of the great opportunities that I'm glad that I participated in. It shows that, peace is not in the grand stages, but it is it's about the quiet, rooms of education and learning, and it's about the healing hands and the voices that refuse to be erased.
Yes. So thank you. Your story is just so touching and so meaningful. Thank you so much, Mahadia, for the work that you are doing in our world to bring peace. Thank you, thank you, thank you.